Namaskar. Uh, Today I have an interesting upanayana muhurta. Upanayana means the ceremony where a Brahmin boy is invested with the sacred thread, which is also known as janu in Hindi. It is known as punal in Tamil. So it is investing with that, in with which the diksha of Gayatri is given. Gayatri mantra is given. Okay. After that, the child is authorized to do Gayatri mantra, and he has to do it every day. So it is very important. It is one of the 16 samskaras, Shodasha samskaras. There are like 16 important events in the lifetime of an individual. Amongst that, Upanayana is considered one of the most important, almost treated on par with say Vivaha, which is marriage. Um, if you go to Muhurta literature, there's a lot of information which is given on how to pick the right Muhurta for Upanayana. Okay. Now here I have Muhurta. This of people we know of, and when I came to know of this Muhurta, I immediately I let them know that I don't think this is the right Muhurta, and that with some changes it can be a much better Muhurta. Okay. So what is this Muhurta? Let's look at it. So here we have uh, this is in the East Indian chart, so I don't have an option to change it, but I'll just read it out. This is Meena Lagna, Pisces Lagna, and you have Jupiter. This is just around 2nd of February, so a couple of days back. Uh, Jupiter is in the second house, and you would know, if you know the Gochara, you know all the rest of the planet positions. Okay, most importantly, your moon in the 8th house. Now, why do I think this is not the right Muhurta? First reason is there's a planet in the 8th house. Okay, that is not good. You don't want any planet in the 8th house, because 8th house indicates ending of something. 8th house indicates death. In this case, death of Muhurta means ending of something. You don't want a Muhurta which is important, like say marriage, Upanayana, and all, to end. So, but let me just to not I'm not alarming. It doesn't mean that this person will die or anything like that. Don't take it like that. It just means that there is some what objective you may what objective you had may not really be successful. That is what it is meaning. Okay. More importantly, other than the fact that it is there's a planet in the 8th house, it is specifically moon in the 8th house. Now there are certain positions which are not considered good for planets. We know, like for example, there are debility signs of planets. For example, if moon were in Scorpio, that's the Nicha Sthana of moon. Now, in this case, the problem with moon is that it is in Marana Karaka Sthana. So there are positions in which a planet is in Marana Karaka Sthana. Like Sun is in the 12th house, considered as Marana Karaka Sthana. Marana Karaka literally means that it is in a dying state, or it is not in a good state altogether. It indicates that there is uncleanliness or impurity with that. Okay. uh, it's some bad karma in the past. That's what it essentially means. Again, I'm not making any judgment of the people involved over here. I'm just expressing what it means. Okay. Obviously, in case to case basis, we have to understand. Okay, there are some good things also of moon is in a benefic sign over here, which is good. But in the 8th house, this is the implication. Okay. More important than that, or not more important, rather equally important to that, this point is, we also see what is considered as the karya bhava in a muhurta. That is the um, what defines that activity. Now in Upanayana is essentially a mantra diksha is being given. Okay, mantra relates to the 5th house. Okay, so for that, for 5th house, we see the 5th house, the 5th lord, and the karaka of 5th house as well. Okay. And also for mantra, what is the karaka for mantra? So these are the various points we have to look at. So interestingly, here the 5th house happens to be Cancer. While Cancer is empty, which is a good thing, there is no malefic aspect apart from Mars's drishti on it, and Rahu's drishti is also there. That is, this is not good, but we can ignore it. I mean, you may not find a very perfect muhurta where a sign is without any malefic aspect. It's very tough to find. But what is problematic here is that a lot of this sign is moon again. Okay, and moon is in, as I said, in Varna Karasthana and in 8th house, which is not good. Moreover, For mantra, the karaka is again moon, because mantra is related to manas. Manatrayati iti mantra, the one which protects the mind. Trayati, manas, is mantra. The mantra is supposed to protect the mind by ensuring that your mind is always on the mantra, and hence it gets purified and it is not into something else. Okay, so which is not good for you. So that's how the mantra protects you. And Gayatri mantra is a very, very important mantra, right? So here we have the karaka also of this, which is moon in a bad sense. So moon being in a bad sense is not good. Moreover, when we say that, in a mantra or anything, everything can get forgiven. Like today also, if people are who are facing capital punishment, they are about to be hanged, they can send a mercy petition to the president. And the president, if the president says, okay, I grant mercy, then the person is forgiven, even if he is supposed to be hanged. Okay, maybe it is commuted to death sentence, or maybe he may be released also, like that, depending on prison time served. Now, similarly, like the top authority can can forgive anything. Like that, there are rajas or kings who can forgive. Okay, and here when we talk of rajas, we mean for each varna, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, and all that, there are certain rajas. Okay, amongst that, moon is the raja for brahmana. Moon is called brahmana raja. If you see the description of moon generally wears white clothes. Brahmins also wear white clothes. That is preferred. Why? Because they want to please the moon. They want to prefer. I am wearing white, for example. If you're going for any studies and all that, it is preferred that this is for men. Women, it's not. We don't like women wearing pure white, because that signifies widowhood and all that. But for men, white is preferred. If you see Vedic Pandits and all, especially in South India, maybe not so in North India, but in South India, they would wear white dhoti, white uttariya for Vedic rituals, etc., homas and yajnas, etc. So, moon is the Brahmana Raja. So, the Brahmana Raja is itself very badly placed. So, you can understand how bad it is. Moreover, there are other things like you have Rahu in Lagna. You don't want Rahu in Lagna. Rahu is not at all amenable to moon. Moreover, they are also placed not very well placed from each other, 6 8 from each other, not at all good. Um, Mars is also aspecting this Rahu, this Lagna, so this also is not good. I mean, there are other things beyond that I can say. For example, here, this is in Devaguru software very nicely. You have, apart from other things, you also have the, where is it? Yeah, the yogas mentioned. Like for example, this is also this muhurta. I mean, because of the Vara, Titi, and Nakshatra, it is having various bad yogas, inauspicious yogas. There is no auspicious yoga. There are these inauspicious yogas like Mrityu yoga, Krakacha, and another Mrityu. These are two different Mrityu yogas. And good thing in Deva.guru is they also put what is this pertaining to. VN means V stands for Vara, and N stands for Nakshatra. So this Friday Vara, Shukravara, and Swati Nakshatra together are forming what is known as Mrityu Yoga, which is not a good yoga. Then Vara and Tithi form Krakacha Yoga, that is Vara being Venus and Tithi being Krishna Saptami. Basically, Krakacha is whenever anything adds to 13. For example, Venus is the 6th Vara and this is the 7th Tithi. 6 plus 7 is 13. So we also consider 13 to be bad in that sense, not just the Westerners. And then again this Vara and Tithi form what is known as Mrityu Yoga. So, but these yogas can get solved if there are some strengths in the muhurta. If the lagna is strong, lagnesha is strong, the karaka is strong, and there are no other flaws in the this thing, then some of these things can be overlooked. Not everything, but some of these things can be overlooked. But with already moon being bad, this and then basically this indicates the problem with this particular vara and nakshatra also. What is a nakshatra? Nakshatra is again Rahu, and this Rahu is in Lagna, so this makes this Rahu doubly malefic because of this reason. Okay, Krishna Saptami is ruled by Shani. Okay, but Rahu is clearly influencing over here, right? So now my suggestion to them was, see, instead of Meena Lagna, just move it to Mesha Lagna. That's all. and it was not too late also. At 11 o'clock, around 10:58, it was moving to Mesha. Okay, and with Mesha things change suddenly. There is nothing in the 8th house. Moon is suddenly so well placed, and moon is, as I said, important for mantra, brahmana raja, and all that I have said. Jupiter in lagna is so much more good for a vedic karma, for a brahmana karma. It is so much more good. uh, if I were to see, the 5th house is again empty. There is only the aspect of Saturn. As I said, you can't avoid, but there's also an aspect of Jupiter, mind you. There's some issue with the lagna, I would say, because Jupiter, this Jupiter is blocked in a way by a lot of planets. But there's also a parivartana between Jupiter Mars, which is, it's a mixed bag, but it is still much better than this Meena Lagna over here. And the 5th Lord Sun is in 10,000 Digbala, that is the mantra. So this Sun is very powerful. This will, and you see, for Gayatri, Sun is very important, right? It's for Savitur Gayatri we're talking about, related to Sun. So this is suddenly such a much more better muhurta, and you're avoiding some of these flaws as well. Um, Now, anyway, unfortunately, they didn't take it. This suggestion. There was some. I suggested you go to some other astrologer and check if you want. I mean, I was not getting any fees or anything for this, just because they are friends. I told them this thing, but I don't know whom they consulted, but that person said that after at 10:30 to 12 in this place there is Rahu Kala, and Rahu Kalam should be. I agree that Rahu Kalam should be avoided, and they said that they would rather do parihara for this moon in 8th house. See, there is also this belief that we have that in muhurta, if there is something bad, you do some remedy for that. But I would say, if you wanted to do remedy for Rahu Kala. Okay, for doing the ritual in Rahu Kala, to remedy for that, rather, and this is a much more serious problem than Rahu Kalam. It's not like Rahu Kalam is not serious. By the way, there is this bogey about Rahu Kalam. Rahu Kalam is not bad for everything. Like, people look at Rahu Kalam for travel also. For travel, you should see Mangala Kala. Do you know when Mangala Kala happens on a day? Why is Mangala Kala bad? Mangala is not good for travel. It is against Venus, which is the Karaka for travel. Okay, if you want to see for marriage more than Rahu Kala, again Mangala Kala is problem, because Venus is the Karaka for marriage, and Mars, there is some reason why Mars is against Venus. Okay, so Rahu Kala, however, is important for any religious activities, and since there is a religious, I mean, in the sense that this is related to spirituality, mantra, and all that, and that's a more of Jupiter work, and Rahu can block Jupiter. Rahu is also aspecting Jupiter, so there's a point. I'm not denying that, but there's one other point which I want to make over here. See, the thing is, if you the invitation card which was sent, it mentioned 9 to 10:30 as the Meena Lagna. Now you can see over here the timings are given. This is pretty small, but so I will read it out. It's from 9:16 to 10:58, almost till 11 o'clock. So Meena Lagna is not till 10:30. It is still actually 11 o'clock. So if they think after 10:30 is going to Mesha, it's no. It's now, why is this happening? Why is this difference happening? Because even today, a lot of people over here, especially in South, but maybe I suppose in other places also, go as per what is known as Vakpanchangam. Vakpanchangam is basis certain formulas given in various Siddhanta texts like Surya Siddhanta and all that. They are calculating the positions of grahas, and basis that also calculating the lagna positions and all that. Okay, while this is entirely Drik Panchanga. Okay, the word Drik means seeing. It's related to the Drishya. The word Drishya is seeing, right? So Drik is related to seeing. Okay, so this is actual seen positions of the planets or the lagna, etc. This is the actual position as per astronomical calculations. That's why softwares actually use Drik Panchang. You will never find softwares use, and any astrologer worth his salt will be using Drik Panchang, that is softwares which are using Drik Panchang. I have not seen any astrologer using Vakya Panchang that is not using softwares. That is, there would be those who are not using softwares, hence dependent on Vakya Panchang. But someone who is using software means he is using Drik Panchang. There's nothing else he's using than that, right? So, I mean, at least this is my opinion. That again, astrologers can have divided opinions on this, but isn't it logical that what is actually there rather than calculating that? And this causes a major difference because the calculated positions can be way off than the actual positions. And this you will notice in older days charts. People whose charts have been calculated in olden times. Many times the nakshatras itself is off, moon's position is off many a times because moon moves very fast, um, and so on and so forth. So that is causing the difference, and this is also causing one more difference. See, Rahu Kala on that day was not from 10:30 at this place, it was from 11:10. If you go look at Drik Panchang, it is from 11:10. As you can see, this muhurta is ending at 10:58, so there is still a window of there of 10 minutes. Having said that, I would still not prefer it because then Lagna will be in Gandanta. I don't want this Lagna to be in this Venus, Veena Mesha Gandanta. I would still say, okay, do Parihara for Rahu if there are Pariharas available. Do Parihara for doing this thing in Rahu Kalam. Anyway, Jupiter is very powerful being in Lagna. That and especially because there is this Gajakesari happening with Jupiter Moon, it can definitely solve a lot of ills. I mean, Parashara says that one single Jupiter alone, and this Jupiter is alone, right, in Lagna can remove lot of ills like the Trishul of Shiva, removing, like it's like a sunlight removing darkness. Okay, so just with that simple thing, this could have been done. Now, I feel it's unfortunate because when a better muhurta was just so close available, yet it was overlooked. Now, I have a much deeper point to finally conclude on this entire episode. Is, you see, if you if someone has um, a lung issue, right? Then they will go to a lung specialist, right? If someone has a cancer issue, then they will go to a cancer specialist, an oncologist. If someone has a bone related issue, they will go to an orthopedic, right? They will not go to an ENT for a bone issue, right? They may, even if this is a severe bone issue, they may not even go to a general physician. They may straight away go to an orthopedic, right? Because a general physician is a general physician. So each is his own speciality. Like, I am an astrologer. I don't conduct rituals. I am not a karma kandi Brahman doing the rituals or havans as per that. I don't even know how to do that. There are experts who have spent years and years of study doing that. Maybe when 8, 10 or 12 years people study to do this properly, right? How to say the Vedic mantras in the right intonation with the right swaras, etc. All these are separate streams which have to be learned. Similarly, jyotish is also a very important stream which has to be learned. Now, what I typically find is people take muhurtas for granted, and they think that, okay, the pandit who is conducting my rituals is also good enough to tell me the right muhurta to conduct it. Now, in earlier times, in ancient times, a pandit was supposed to be well versed in jyotish also. And even today, I'm sure there are great pandits who are well versed in everything, right? And they would obviously have much more knowledge than I have. Okay, um, but I have seen practically that there are a lot of pandits. They are good in their sphere, which is about conducting the rituals and all that, but they may not know jyotish. Otherwise, they have understood the importance and seriousness of chandrashtama dosha. In fact, when I sent a message to them, I specifically mentioned this word Chandrashtama so that it drives home the point that this is Chandrashtama, take it seriously. But obviously, the person over there didn't know the importance of this. So, my request is, if you have to pick a muhurta, firstly, understand muhurta. See, Upanayana muhurta, how serious is it? Is that, you see, you have a birth chart. But after you have Upanayana, I will also read the Upanayana chart. The moment where the Upanayana happened, the moment the Gayatri Diksha was given, that is a chart. That is this chart. and this I will study to see how this person's studies will be, how this person's job will be, etc., etc. Okay. So you have, say, 10th house, you have Venus and Mars yoga, 10th house about work, etc. Rahu is in Lagna, there is a Rahu Ketu. So I will read as if it's a chart in itself and read various things from this itself. That much importance of muhurta is there. Okay, for ladies especially, the and this is a muhurta very tough to find because many a times you may not know when exactly it happened, but when the menstruation first happens for a girl, that is also considered as an important muhurta. And then when vivaha happens, when marriage happens, that is an important muhurta, and from that you can read very clearly how the lives of the bride and the groom will be. So hence, for all of this, we this is a special field where muhurta is very important. You study this and ensure that you pick the right muhurta, because that is not just important for that event alone, but from that event, what is the life after that also it has a bearing on. That is why muhurta is very important. Okay, so and if you have to pick the right muhurta, then go to the specialist who deals with it, which is a jyotishi. Right? Go to a jyotishi and pick the right muhurta. After all, you are not going to do upanayana every day. It's once in a lifetime event. So people even can get married a couple of times, 3 times in their life, but the upanayana happens only once. Gayatri Diksha is given only once, right? So it is to be taken very seriously, and the reason I am pointing this out is that so that people whosoever sees this considers muhurta important, and consults an astrologer whenever an important muhurta has to be taken. Okay. So thank you so much for listening to me patiently. Hope this was very useful. Namaskar.